Hi, this is Lee Giles, creator of the Easy Peasy All-in Homeschool. In this video, I want to talk about foreign languages. On our site, we don't do foreign language until 6th grade. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what that looks like by clicking on our 6th level. Let's jump down along the way here. Okay, so day 12. So they have math, they have foreign language. And here, they're watching this video in Latin. They're writing down Latin words. Now, they're not learning Latin. The only language we really do on Easy Peasy right now is Spanish. I think it's the most important one for Americans, and most Easy Peasy users are in America. If you're in another country, you should learn the language of that country if it's not English. So learn a language that's appropriate to your country. So they're using, here's the same Latin video, and they're writing down what they think the words mean. And now they're looking up the French words for those English meanings and see if they think it's related to the Latin. Okay, so what I'm doing here is just training them in language learning. Okay, I want them to make observations. I don't want them to just look at a foreign word and go, that's foreign, I don't know what that says. Words are related, and there are, language families and how they're looking up Spanish words and how they're related to the French and the Latin. I want them to be language investigators, okay? So if you say the Latin, I'm not teaching Latin, they're not going to be memorizing Latin conjugations. We're not learning Latin. I'm just trying to explain why it's there. I've spent years doing language learning because I lived in a few different countries. And so I've done a lot of language learning, and my husband is a polyglot. He is fluent in a bunch of languages. So that's what's happening there. And then later down in the year, we get to Spanish. Just jump here. Okay. So we get to Spanish. It still says foreign language as the heading because maybe you don't want to use Spanish. The Spanish is put right into their lessons. But if you decide you want a different language, we don't have any other full courses, but we have this foreign language page with some suggestions. Okay. So I can't help you beyond that at this point. My husband would like to make some easy peasy language classes in some other languages, but there's no plans for that to happen right now. This is May 2018 that I'm saying this. So we just think Spanish is the most important for Americans, and that's where most of our users are. So that's built into the courses. So in 6th and 7th, they are mostly working on vocabulary. Okay, not so much grammar. So again, you might think this is weird. Why aren't they learning? I'll have them, making up dialogues, writing sentences when they haven't learned all the official grammar. And again, that's part of being a language learner. You kind of have to just put yourself out there. You make observations from what you're hearing from people, from what you're, seeing around you, and then you put it together as best you can. And, you see what happens. You see if you can get your point across. So it's just, I'm training them as language learners. Like, there's a few times I share little stories about, my funny language situations I got myself into. But that's the focus of those. And then in 8th level, these are listed under foreign languages, we get to Spanish 1. So Spanish 1 could be considered a high school course. And in fact, we host it on our high school site. That note at the top of the page, I've just updated our Spanish 1 course. So this kind of goes back to the beginning. So if you were, if you were a 9th grader coming to Easy Peasy and you haven't done any Spanish yet, you could take Spanish 1. You don't need to go through Spanish 6th grade and 7th grade and get that vocabulary. But what that means is at the beginning of the year, if you're totally new to Spanish, it's going to be harder for you. You're going to have to spend a lot more effort learning that vocabulary, whereas the kids who've been through those levels will have it easier in the beginning of the course because they'll just be learning the grammar, whereas they already know the numbers and things like that. So for some people who are new to Spanish, it'll feel like it's going fast in the beginning, and for others, it'll be like, this is review, and feel easier. But here they'll be learning all the grammar and putting together proper sentences. They're going to be speaking out loud to you, and there'll be written assignments that you're going to have to grade, even though you might not know Spanish. So I do my best to give you guidelines for how to excuse me, check their work. And you're going to be using the different links on here to see if they spell things correctly, or if they use the right grammar, as best I can. There's only so much I can do, but I do put in grading guidelines to kind of help you through that. How you're going to grade them speaking Spanish if you don't know what they're saying. So there are rubrics for that to help you. So on the high school site, it's listed under Humanities. Spanish 1, Spanish 2, and Spanish 3 we have on the site. And then beyond that, maybe you want to, jump into a college course, get college credit. So, one more thing, very important. Language Live. This is new as of 2018. This is my husband. He is going to be teaching English as a second language classes and Spanish 1 practice classes. This is starting fall of 2018 for students in Spanish 1. You can sign up for our practice class. You'll be using the Easy Peasy online course, but then you can come to class once a week. It'll be about an hour long, and you'll just, get on the microphone with other students and talk out loud to be able to do dialogues together, answer questions out loud, have someone listen to your accent. Just because while the course might say, speak out loud, repeat this out loud, some students won't necessarily be walking around their house speaking Spanish out loud. Some kids will love it and they will just use it around the house, but you can't really learn to speak a language without speaking it. So this is just something my husband loves to do, loves to teach, and loves foreign languages. So just something we're offering. There's more about him. Anyway, all the information for that class, when it's going to be, the options, costs, the technical, all the stuff that's on here. So use this. This is what's called Language Live. There's also a mailing list you can get on for that to get any updates about what's going on with that. So I hope that gives you some idea about foreign language on Easy Peasy.